It's me, Mario! Hello!
You can see why I said the next LP would be thematically similar to the last one. Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play Super Mario 64. I've sort of been meaning to get to this one for a while, sort of not. I'll talk more about that as we go, but as everyone showcases, worth noting here on the title screen, you can just grab Mario's face and play with it because this is one of the earliest 3D games to exist, so they really made sure you knew it. And honestly, it's adorable. Let's not mess around and get right on into our main save file.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Ciao! You've reached Princess Toadstool's castle via a warp pipe. Using the controller as a piece of cake. Press A to jump and B to attack. Press B to read signs, too. Use the control stick in the center of the controller to move Mario around. Now head for the castle! But hear me out, what if we also read the sign along the way, because I'm trying to read as many of these as I can. Reading signs can be a little bit iffy, you have to be very dead center with it. Princess Toadstool's castle is just ahead. Press A to jump, Z to crouch, and B to punch. Read a sign or grab something. Press B again to throw something you're holding. Crouching you're gonna do a lot in my experience, but more for the two of the jump varieties than crawling around or doing the little spin kick you could do on the ground, as it allows you to backflip and long jump, which are two of the most useful platform utilities in the game. Good afternoon, the Lakitu brothers here, reporting live from just outside the princess's castle. Mario has just arrived on the scene and will be filming the action live as he enters the castle and pursues the missing Power Stars. As seasoned cameramen, we'll be shooting from the recommended angle, but you can change the camera angle by pressing the C buttons. If we can't adjust the view any further, we'll buzz. To take a look around the surroundings, stop and press C up. Press A to resume play. Switch camera modes with the R button. Signs along the way will review these instructions. For now, reporting live, this has been the Lakitu brothers. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about. Mario 64 is why we call in-game cameras, well, cameras by and large, because they treated it like it was a film camera for a news broadcast. You can rotate the camera and set angles with the C left and right sticks. You can zoom out with C down, and you can go up behind it with C up. You can also just go into a weird close-up cam with R that I seldom ever use, but I think it's okay in some cases for reducing slowdown. Welcome. No one's home. Now scram and don't come back. Well, that's just rude. What do you have to say over here, Toad?
Am I glad to see you? The princess, and I, and, well, everybody. We're all trapped inside the castle walls. Bowser has stolen the castle stars and is using their power to create his own world in the paintings and walls. Please recover the power stars. As you find them, you can use their power to open the doors that Bowser has sealed. There are 4 rooms on the first floor. Start in the one with the painting of Bob-omb inside. It's the only room that Bowser hasn't sealed. When you collect 8 power stars, you'll be able to open the door with the big star. The princess must be inside.
Yeah, Toad just about summarized the game structure pretty succinctly. Across Peach's castle, there's going to be paintings we can jump into that contain the levels, and we need to get power stars from them to open up more doors to find our way to the main boss fights and eventually the end of the game. But it all starts here with the relatively legendary level 1 Bob-omb Battlefield. Big Bob-omb on the summit is our first mission. Let's get on in.
Let's go!
Wow, you're smack in the middle of the battlefield. You'll find the power stars that Bowser stole inside the painting worlds. First, talk to the Bob-omb buddy. Press B to talk. He'll certainly help you out, and so will his comrades in other areas. To read signs, stop, face them, and press B. Press A or B to scroll ahead. You can talk to some other characters by facing them and pressing B. What do you have to say?
Watch out, if you wander around here, you're liable to be plastered by a water bomb. Those enemy Bob-ombs love to fight, and they're always finding ways to attack. This meadow has become a battlefield ever since the big Bob-omb got his paws on the power star. Can you recover the star for us? Cross the bridge and go left up the path to find the big Bob-omb. Please come back to see me after you retrieve the power star.
Alright, will do. What about your buddy over here? As soon as I stop trying to punch him.
Hey you, it's dangerous ahead, so listen up. Take my advice. Cross the 2 bridges ahead, then watch for falling water bombs. The big Bob-omb at the top of the mountain is very powerful. Don't let him grab you. We're Bob-omb buddies and we're on your side. You can talk to us whenever you'd like to.
Yeah, for some reason, whenever you're talking to an NPC or investigating a sign, you really have to be dead center, and even then, Mario will sometimes just punch the air in front of them because it's not registering correctly. To read a sign, stand in front of it and press B like you did just now. When you want to talk to a Koopa Troopa or other animal, stand right in front of it. Please recover the stars that were stolen by Bowser in this course. Yeah, alright. These boxes here are to practice punching things and throwing things. You can punch enemies to knock them down. Press A to jump, B to punch. Press A, then B to kick. To pick something up, press B2. To throw something you're holding, press B again. We're almost free from the tutorial signs. There are 4 camera or C buttons. Press C up to look around using the control stick. You'll usually see Mario through Lakitu's camera. It's the camera recommended for normal play. You can change angles by pressing C left or right. If you press R, the view switches to Mario's camera, which is directly behind him. Press R again to return to Lakitu's camera. Press C down to see Mario from afar using either Lakitu or Mario's view. Again, not that you'll need to do that too often. The Mario camera, I basically never use. I think it maybe show it off maybe twice in the LP. There are special caps in the red, green, and blue blocks. Step on the switches in the hidden courses to activate the cap blocks. We're not going to be able to do that for a little bit. You need a certain amount of power stars to access the first one of those to begin with. So, get this. Mario 64 is one of the earliest 3D platformers, at least in the more modern definition. Shocking, I know. If I recall, it's not the overall first in the genre. I think there was some game on one of the Atari platforms that beat it to the punch. But largely, a lot of design and controls for these kind of games moving forward was codified here. Thus, the amount of tutorialization from very literal side posting and repetition of dialogue for that was, historically kind of needed at the time. Now, I don't need to read this sign for a bit, but I do now because might as well. If you get the wing cap, you can fly. Put the cap on, then do a triple jump 3 times in a row to take off. You can fly even higher if you blast out of a cannon wearing the wing cap. Use the C buttons to look around and flying, and press Z to land. The triple jump is something you really need to get used to very quickly in this game, because if you just move forward while doing 3 jumps in a row at a specific time, you can just jump higher and higher. You can use that to get to really high places very quickly. No visitors allowed by decree of the Big Bob-omb. I shall never surrender my stars, for they hold the power of the castle in their glow. They were a gift from Bowser, the Koopa King himself, and they lie well hidden within my realm. Not a whisper of their whereabouts shall leave my lips. No, alright, perhaps one hint. Heed the star names at the beginning of the course, the Big Bob-omb. And that's just a tutorial for the fact that the title of a mission on the level select screen within a specific world actively gives you a hint on what to do to find the star hidden within. Mind you, most of the time they're honestly kind of vague. They'll give a decent direction here and again, but sometimes they're just like, how would I have known that from that? Now, I showcased a teleport point earlier when you stepped in that one flower field to get across the map pretty quickly, but there's also one at this point in the mountain to get teleported to just below the summit, saving us some time in this particular level. I'm the Big Bob-omb, Lord of all blasting matter, King of kabooms the world over. How dare you scale my mountain? By what right do you set upon my imperial mountaintop? You may have eluded my guards, but you'll never escape my grasp. And you'll never take away my power star. I hereby challenge you, Mario. If you want the star I hold, you must prove yourself in battle. Can you pick me up from the back and hurl me to this royal turf? I think that you cannot. Our first mini-boss is the King Bob-omb. He slowly walks towards you, and that's all he does. You just need to get around him to the back, press B to pick him up, and then throw him onto the grass. If you throw him off the mountain, it doesn't count for his HP, and he'll just hop back up and try to be a little more aggressive at you. You can run around him to get to his back, but that actually risks you getting picked up by him and thrown off the mountain and needing to start the fight over. The best thing to do is to actually crouch and then press the A button to do a backflip over him, because you'll just completely clear his height, and that leaves you right where you need to be to actually grab him and then throw him to do some damage. The backflip is one of my favorite jump types in the game, but not my overall. What? Can it be that a pipsqueak like you has defused the Bob-omb King? You might be fast enough to ground me, but you'll have to pick up the pace if you want to take King Bowser by the tail. Methinks my troops could learn a lesson from you. Here's your star as I promised, Mario. If you want to see me again, select the star from the menu. For now, farewell. And thus, our first power star is earned. They're not all gonna take 10 minutes to get. I took my time on this one, especially just to read those signs, though a couple do take that long for extenuating reasons in later levels. And upon clearing a stage, you're ejected out and you get the prompt to save in the case you want to, which I'd really recommend doing always, really. You've recovered one of the stolen power stars. Now you can open some of the sealed doors in the castle. Try the princess's room on the 2nd floor and the room with the painting of Womb's fortress on floor 1. Bowser's troops are still getting power, so you can't give up. Save us, Mario. Keep searching for stars. And we will, but we're not going to the other levels yet. The way I structure this LP is that I don't leave a world behind until I've gotten everything I can get in it for the time being. So we're heading back into Bob-omb Battlefield for the foot race with Koopa the Quick. But before we go talk to the obvious Koopa, let's talk to our Bob-omb buddy over here again. Thank you, Mario. The big Bob-omb is nothing but a big dud now. But the battle for the castle has just begun. Other enemies are holding the other power stars. If you recover more stars, you can open new doors that lead to new worlds. My Bob-omb buddies are waiting for you. Be sure to talk to them. They'll set up cannons for you. In fact, we can set up our first one right now by talking to this one. We're peace-loving Bob-ombs, so we don't use cannons. But if you like to blast off, we don't mind. Help yourself. We'll prepare all the cannons in this course for you to use. Bon voyage! We'll be taking good advantage of the cannons later. They're pretty good for gaining either further distances very quickly or very high very quickly, but the annoying thing is you can't really control yourself until you land. Ready for blast off. Come on, hop into the cannon. You can reach the star on the floating island by using the 4 cannons. Use the control stick to aim and press A to fire. If you're handy, you can grab onto trees or poles to land. Indeed we can, but we're not going to do that again. We're going to go talk to the Koopa the Quick. Hey Mario, is it true that you beat the big Bob-omb? Cool. You must be strong and pretty fast. So how fast are you anyway? Fast enough to beat me, Koopa the Quick? I don't think so. Just try me. How about a race to the mountaintop where the big Bob-omb was? What do you say? When I say go, let the race begin. Ready? Go! So, our second level is just a straight up foot race to the place where we just beat the big Bob-omb. With that said, do not use either of the teleport points I showcased in the first level here, as when you do so, when Koopa the Quick gets to the top, he calls you out for cheating, and I think you actually take a death at that point. Just run all the way up there. It's not that hard. He's pretty slow. But take good advantage of the long jump while doing so. That's done by pressing the crouch button and then the A button in very quick succession while moving in a certain direction. It's really good for getting some distance and even some good speed out of things. With that said, I use it very liberally, but not as liberally as, say, a speedrunner, because I barely know any speedrunning techniques in this game because I just don't care to really learn a speedrun for a game like this. And that's more of a structural thing at that point, though worth noting, this is a 100% playthrough, but it's also the first 100% playthrough I've done of this game probably since before I started the channel, if not around the time I actively started the channel. For reasons I'll get more into later, Mario 64 is not a game I come back to that regularly. At the top of the mountaintop is our flag. Grab onto it. You can climb up to the top and also just kind of pose at the top of it by letting go of the analog stick and then pressing up again. And now I just have to wait for Koopa the Quick to get up here. I believe he always gets up here at the exact same time frame, which I think is like a minute 20, a minute 30, somewhere in that range. I'd also recommend taking this moment to just kind of look around the level and see where things are placed so you can maybe absorb that for later stars. Whoa, you really are fast. A human blur. Here you go. You've won it fair and square. 2 power stars down, either 68 to go if you're going for just the minimum needed to beat the game, or 118 if you're going for 100% and 120 like I am. 120 stars became the de facto collectible count for 3D Mario due to this game, until I want to say Galaxy 2 off the top of my head for reasons, and then Odyssey just ran away with its totals, which always kind of made me laugh, because in several ways Odyssey is closer to 64 in its setup than anything in between. But we'll save that for when I probably inevitably cover Odyssey in like 9-10 years time. Star 3 for Bob-omb Battlefield, shoot for the island in the sky. Time for us to take advantage of the cannons that are located across the map. Get in the cannon and it rises up, and then you get to aim. With that said, you do have a bullet drop to worry about. Where you aim Mario is not where he's going to land because gravity does take course. With that said, there are 4 cannons located across the battlefield, and they know you're probably going to need to actively use at least 2 to get up there your first time. Because you do have momentum from the cannon, you do have to worry about bullet drop. You need to not only aim higher than you think, but also you need to keep in mind aiming for something like a tree to grab onto, because otherwise you might get onto the island and then just completely slide off. With that said, for this specific star, we just need to get onto the island because the star for this level is contained in the orange box on it. Getting to this specific cannon's probably the easiest way, but I believe, hit the tree from the cannon just below the island, and I think it's possible to hit it from the first one. You just gotta be very precise. And thus our third star is gone. This is what I mean. Like, the first star took us 10 minutes because of the intro and the signs. Meanwhile, we've gotten 2 in less than half the time. With that said, because we've hit 3 power stars upon saving, we're once again going to get talked to by the mysterious voice in the sky. You've recovered 3 power stars. Now you can open any door with a 3 on its star. You can come and go from the open courses as you please. The enemies ahead are even meaner, so be careful. I'll talk about why in a moment, but open course is a very good summarization of this game's level design. Let's talk about why in Bob-omb Battlefield Mission 4, find the 8 red coins. For this mission, get this, there's 8 red coins, and we have to find them. They're in set locations, and grabbing them all will make a star spawn in a different set location. If you've been paying attention throughout the earlier stars, you probably have already seen a good majority of them, so you can actively just search out the few remaining just by looking around from either a high position or things like that. Notably, the red coins have a much further draw distance than normal coins or even a lot of other enemies. So if you look around from a good distance, you'll probably get a good idea of where a lot of them actively are. What does this sign say? Hold Z to crouch and slide down the slope, or press Z while in the air to pound the ground. If you stop, crouch, then jump, you'll do a backward somersault. Got that? There's more. Crouch and jump to do a long jump, or crouch and walk to... Never mind. The ground pound can be a little awkward to hit with because of the delay it has, but you do need to use it to get certain stars anyway, and it can be used to knock enemies off of cliffs in certain instances. What I use it for more often than not is negating fall damage, because if you fall too far in this, obviously you take some damage to the point where I think certain heights are an instant kill. But if you ground pound at the last second before hitting the ground, all momentum is negated and you don't take any fall damage. So, open course. I said that's a pretty good summarization of the game's level design because it is. The thing is with the levels in this game, you can get stars in largely any order. There's only really a few cases where you have to get a certain star first. As long as you know the objective, you can get it done. And plus, like the voice said a moment ago, you can go to some stages in different orders. Since I have 1 and 3 stars done already, I can go access other levels if I want to, but because of how I'm structuring this LP, I'm just not leaving a level until I've gotten everything I can in it. Because that's just the way I prefer to play games like this. Also right here we're seeing one of Mario's more minor control quirks I'll talk about in a second after I read this sign. You can grab onto the edge of a cliff or a ledge with your fingertips and hang down from it. To drop down from the edge, either press the control stick in the direction of Mario's back, or press the Z button. To get up onto the ledge, either press up on the control stick or press A as soon as you grab onto the ledge to climb up quickly. So Mario in this game largely controls very fluidly. In fact, for what is such an early 3D platformer of this scale, it's incredible how well he controls. Unless you're trying to specifically turn on a dime. Because Mario, he doesn't usually just jet the other direction. He tries to rotate around a little bit here and again. The way around that in most cases is to do a side hop, where you run one direction, then immediately reverse the analog stick and press the A button. He does kind of a side flip. Doing that is usually the fastest way to turn around, but there are times he'll also just completely turn around. I think it depends on the amount of momentum you have, honestly. And getting used to that takes a surprising amount of getting used to, even all these years later. What is really impressive, though, is that they actively thought out Mario's platforming toolset as well as they did for what is such an early 3D game in the series. To the point where, in the case they took away a move in a future game, it actively made him feel a little naked. For instance, Mario Sunshine. I like that game's platforming a decent bit, even with some of its weirdness and mission design and all that. But they take away the long jump and kind of replace it with a changed version of the dive you can do with this by running and then pressing the B button. And it just feels wrong. Meanwhile, they brought it back in later games, and it feels oh so good. With that said, usually even if they take a move away, they kind of refine another part of his moveset a little bit more in future installments. For instance, Mario has a wall jump we'll talk about later on, and I much prefer how it feels in Sunshine onwards. And largely what they did to change it is just give him a Mega Man X slide down the wall animation, making actively doing the wall jump easier. The shadowy star in front of you is a star marker. When you collect the 8 red coins, the star will appear here. And thus, 4 stars down, we're already 1/30th of the way there. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we're gonna finish off our time in Bob-omb Battlefield for now before moving on to our next course. See you guys then.